Today is June 24th, 2022, and by now you've probably already seen the news, and there's been a historic victory for pro-life advocates across the United States. The Supreme Court has officially overturned Roe v. Wade, a decision that I thought I would never see within my lifetime. But here's the truth, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. The entire case that Roe v. Wade was based on an entire lie. The woman that claimed to be Jane Roe, in this case, was never raped. The story never happened, and still the Supreme Court ruled on it and said that the abortion rights should be protected. Even though there is not a single line in the United States Constitution that grants people the authority to murder babies for economic reasons. Now, one of the main reasons why I am strongly against abortion is because of how it's been used to specifically target the Black community. And I'm going to make this message specifically to the Black community because it's very important, because I see how a lot of them have been infiltrated by several movements where they're using Black people to push these leftist agendas that don't really benefit us or push us in the right direction. So for those of you guys that don't know, let me give you a brief recap. The abortion movement was helped to be championed by a woman named Margaret Sanger. Now, Margaret Sanger, she opened up one of the first abortion clinics in New York City, and she was also a member of the New York Women's KKK Auxiliary. Look this up. Don't believe anything I'm saying. Look this up for yourself, and you'll see that it's true. Now, this woman would go to churches, specifically Black churches, and preach to them about how if you are in poverty, the most merciful thing that you can do when you can't afford a family is to basically eliminate one of those children through abortion for the greater good of the family. She's on record as saying that that Negroes and Jews are weeds that need to be permanently eradicated from the face of the earth. Now, this is who Planned Parenthood has based their entire model upon. In fact, she set the foundation for Planned Parenthood to be what it is today. Planned Parenthood revered this woman and treated her like she was a saint, to the point that they would give people the Margaret Sanger Award for decades. It wasn't until 2020 recently where they decided to distance themselves from Margaret Sanger, because lots of conservatives, mainly a lot of Black conservatives like myself, were coming out and telling the truth about the real origins of Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger. And now that it's become so big for them to even deny anymore, now on their website they changed their bio. Look this up. They've changed their bio where they admit the fact that she was a racist, that the organization has racist foundations, and it was specifically designed to target African Americans. And here's what I want to tell the Black people. This abortion thing is being used as genocide. When people want to talk about systemic racism, this is a perfect example of systemic racism. You don't find Planned Parenthoods in the suburbs. You're almost always going to find it in the inner cities where there's lots of Blacks, Hispanics, other minorities in between. You're always going to find it in these areas where they're low income. And then they'll use excuses like, well, what about if someone is raped or incest? They'll use the 0.1% example of what actually happens with abortion. Use that little tiny 1% example to justify the reason why everybody should be able to kill their children for economic reasons. Well, the reason why I'm totally against it is because this organization was designed to target people that look like me, and that is a fact. You can look it up for yourself. Don't trust what I'm saying. Look it up for yourself and you'll be able to confirm it, okay? How is it that the Black community makes up less than 14% in the United States? We're 340 million plus people, all right? We make up less than 14% in the United States, yet more than 38% of all of the abortions being done within the United States are being committed by people that look like me. Life is sacred, and I'm going to continue to protect it. Instead of our tax dollars going to organizations like Planned Parenthood, I want to see these tax dollars go to organizations and charities to actually help single mothers and women that are pregnant, that are in very dire situations, and help them be able to keep these lives, help them with getting food, getting whatever needs to be done to keep that life alive, all right? Because I don't believe that murder is the solution, and I'm all for keeping lives together, especially the Black community. Do not allow the leftists to manipulate you and brainwash you into thinking that this is some kind of cause you need to champion. Because if you're championing abortion, you're also supporting Black genocide. Once again, like I said, do not believe anything that I said. Look up the stats, look up the numbers, look up Margaret Sanger, look up the origins of Planned Parenthood, and you'll see for yourself exactly what I'm talking about. Black people, you're being bamboozled. Don't support this. Roe v. Wade being overturned is a very good thing. We need to build stronger families and keep our families together because the Black community needs it desperately.